Hey everybody, I am up at the pavilion, and sometimes we call it the puppy pavilion because this is where we have families come to meet their puppies sometimes. It's a fun spot for us to have for our family when we have friends over in gatherings. And so when we bring the puppies up, we just cover the floor with wood shavings and let the puppies play around, and it's just really fun. And today's the day to do this selection video, and I wanted to come up and kind of put together our final thoughts. We keep notes on the puppies and what we think their personalities are, and take some observations over time, and keep kind of a running list on a few of those things. And tomorrow is their 5-week birthday, and today is May 19th. I had to look at my phone really fast just to make sure I didn't say that wrong. And we've got the puppies up here, so they've been up here playing around and having a good time, and now they're starting to slow down, tucker out, and they're about ready to have their little nap. We got Mama up here with them. Hi, Fern. Hi, big girl. Hi. She takes great care of them, and they're just it's a nice warm day, so these pups are just all spread out, taking their naps. We got Mr. Blue, Miss Yellow, Miss Pink, Purple. Excuse me, Miss Purple. I do know my colors over here, and Mr. Green. He's back over there. We got Miss Teal down here, light pink, and then we got this little wonky spot, Mr. Red. He just tucked himself over here in the corner, and Miss Neon, and then we've got Miss Pink down here on a little blankie, Mr. Orange, Mr. Brown. They're still going. They're the Energizer bunnies so far of today's little playtime. Still going. So I think that's everybody. And so this has just been a fun moment of time to have with them up here. I wanted to bring them up here for a couple of reasons. One of those reasons is to have them in a totally different environment than anywhere else that they've been, and see how they respond. And so part of our assessments with the puppies are figuring out which ones are a little more confident, which ones are a little more reserved, which ones are still kind of relying heavily on Mama for comfort and things like that. So we want to figure out which pups are a little more assertive, which ones are a little more reserved, which ones are a little more confident, and things like that. So bringing them up here today, they've never been up here before. And so this gave us a chance to do some observations of them in a totally unfamiliar environment after they've had a totally unique experience. And so today I actually decided to crate them up and bring them up in the back of the Ranger. And so we've got our side-by-side there, and it has a cargo spot in the back. And so that was a totally new experience for them too, to go for a ride in the Ranger. And so they've been for rides in cars, you know, to the vet and things like that, and they'll do car rides to the vet as well. But the Ranger's a little louder, and I took the drive really slow and easy for them, so it wouldn't traumatize them or anything like that. But I wanted to see which ones do what in a totally new environment after having a totally unique experience of riding up here like that. And so anyways, so some of our observations are going to be based off of the long experiences that we've had with them over the last couple of weeks, and then we add to that with each new experience that they have with us. And so today's experience is a new one for them, and so we add to that over time. So all of our observations today are not a perfect crystal ball of an exact prediction of each one's personality. You know, canines are a fascinating creation that we have the chance to have a lot of say in who these pups become, in how we raise them and train them and things like that. But at the same time, they are born with their own unique traits and things like that. And so we want to share our observations over the last few weeks, and it's from the compilation of the cumulative total sum of the experiences that we've had with them, and then let you guys get an up-close look at each one individually and tell you our thoughts and things like that. And Katie does an amazing job about doing this. She's much more fluid in her thoughts and in communications and things like that. But at the moment, I'm doing the pick videos. And so bear with me. I know Katie does a lot better job at this than I do, but I will do my best. And we'll start, I'm going to kind of assemble these pups together and set up our tripods, things like that. And we'll spread out a little blanket for them and put all these pups together and do a little pick video for you. So stay tuned for a minute and I'll get that set up. Okay, got our little blanket set up, little stool for me to sit on. I've got my notes, and every time I pick one pup up and set one down, another one decides to wake up and walk away and do something else. So this might be as close as I get to having them all together in one spot. I've got some here and I've got some over here. So, okay, so got us a dozen pups here. I'm just going to make some quick observations about a couple of personality differences, and then I'm going to go through each puppy individually. Dark purple here, I'm going to call her a little bit more of the leader of the pack. She tends to be a little bit more assertive and more energetic than her sisters and siblings. Light purple, where did you go, light purple? Over here. She has pretty good energy still, so she's a little more energetic. And then dark pink over here. Dark pink is a little more assertive as well. And so those three pups on the girls' side of things, they're vying for what I would call the leader role of the girls. And so that's kind of some brief personality observations on the girls. Light pink, where is she? She keeps walking off. Light pink here of the group, she is more reserved than her sisters and whatnot there. I wouldn't call her necessarily timid. She's still pretty spunky. I've seen her put her big brothers in their place. And so she's not really timid, but she's a little bit more reserved. And that was probably more noticeable today upon our arrival here. It took her the longest to warm up to being here in this new environment. And so a lot of that assessment with light pink comes from us just today up here in this new environment. And that's exactly why we brought them up here, so we could get some new experiences that we could go off of and use those new experiences as kind of a comparison point. So, of the boys, Mr. Red, he's over here. He's a little bit more reserved and still has good energy, still very playful pup, but he's a little bit more reserved. Not quite to the level of where his sister Light Pink was, but he was a little bit more reserved, and so we're trying to kind of break things apart by between the boys and the girls. So out of the boys, Mr. Red is a little bit more reserved. Still good energy and likes to play and whatnot. Mr. Orange, he is more assertive. Where's he at? He's over here laying down. So Mr. Orange, he's more assertive and energetic. So of the boys, we think that he's the one that's trying for a little bit of a leadership role amongst his siblings. And so that's kind of our initial observations on the boys. And so of the group, those are the ones that were kind of setting the bookends of the group. Then all the other ones are fitting in the middle. And it's pretty hard to kind of rank them and have it be consistent and objective and say this one's more, more energetic than the next, or this one's less energetic than the other one. And so, but we do see the bookends kind of stand out among their siblings, and then all the other pups kind of fit in the middle. So they're kind of what we would call middle range personalities of the group. And so Mr. Red, he keeps cracking me up. He just loves this log. He loves to come over and prop his head up and go to sleep against the log. He's done that like 4 times. We've pulled him out, tried to get the pups over here to lay down all together. We wanted them laying down all together so that we could show you side by side their color differences. But honestly, the differences are apparent in the other videos, so we'll have to call this good enough. So, anyways, that's our initial observations on personalities. And next we're going to go through each individual puppy one by one, talk to you about their size and their individual markings and some of their traits that way. So, here we go on that part. Okay, gotta be careful. They're starting to wake up a little bit and play around. They play a lot more than they used to, and they like to take short naps and wake up and go. So Miss Purple, Dark Purple, is gonna go first. We have our list, and I gotta go off of that or else I'll get everything kind of mixed up. Dark Purple here, at birth, she was born at 0.79 pounds, and right now, today, the 19th of May, she is 4.91 pounds. So her colorings are still consistent with what we observed at birth. She's basically mostly solid. At birth, their coat is different from this coat that they have right now. And then their adult coat is going to be even different from right now. So this is a puppy coat. It's not the newborn coat, but it's the puppy coat. This puppy coat is a little bit longer on the back and legs and toes than at birth, but this puppy coat is shorter and thinner than their newborn coat. So at birth, we see their markings on their chest and neck and underside better, but now we see, listen to Teal, she's having a dream and whimpering in her dream. So now at this puppy coat stage, we see their markings anywhere else better than we could before. So the newborn coat, we see their underside better, but right now it's thinner, and their puppy coat gives us a better view of things on the top side. So Dark Purple is still mostly solid. Right at birth, we noticed she may have a slight groin marking, but right now, at this time, her puppy coat, we can't even hardly see anything going on. So we could call her a solid pup at the moment, and that would be a fair assessment. We're not seeing any markings on her paws or anything that way. So that is dark purple. Next we will go with light purple, and she is laying down over here. So I'm gonna go get her. Hi, light purple. Sorry, I need to be the bad guy and wake you up from your nap. So sorry, big girl. No, I'm sorry. So light purple at birth was 0.9 pounds, and as of today, she's 5.13 pounds. And so her coat markings, you gotta move my notes, make sure I don't get anything wrong here. Her coat markings are still consistent with what we've noticed at birth. She has a very slight marking on her back left toe. Something new that we've noticed is some back right toes have a few highlights. Almost nothing new, but a little bit more than what we noticed at birth. Her chest marking that we could see at birth that was very slight is still very slight. We almost can't see anything. And the markings that we thought we saw on her neck is basically undetectable at the moment. And so that's just part of this puppy coat phase. Vern, are you trying to steal the show? You trying to steal the show? I know. You want to be the star, huh? I know everybody would pick you if they could, but you are ours. So you're not going anywhere. So I have to have you step out of the show for a minute, okay? Okay. Let me just give you some love for a minute, okay? And then we'll have you go lay down. Okay. Yes. Yes. Okay. Come here. Come on, Fern. Okay. Sit down right here. Sit. Good girl. Okay. Lay down. You want to lay? Okay. Just hang out right here by me. Okay. Yeah, that's a good spot. You hang out and relax for a minute. Okay? Okay. So, good girl, Fern. Good girl. So, next on our list is dark pink. And she's back here in a wake. So I will get her going. Here's dark pink. So at birth she was 0.83 pounds. And right now she's 4.4 pounds. So her back left toes at birth were marked, and they're still quite marked. And her back right toes are still heavily marked. And she thinks I'm going to give her a treat. She's wiggling to say, "Where's my treat? Huh? You want some food from me? Huh? Yes, I know. You're just sweet. Just sweet as can be." The slight groin marking we noticed at birth is undetectable right now. And so this is dark pink. I must make note of an item here. So light pink is coming up next. She's the one that had the scratch on the back of her left front leg, and dark pink had a scratch on her as well. If you can see that in the camera, it's about the size of a fingernail width right there on her back. And dark pink is healing up nice. We're thinking that as her adult coat comes in, which is a lot longer haired coat than what this is, then that will be hardly detectable, but it may have a minor amount of noticeability there. And so proportions wise, this looks big on her now, but as a full-size adult dog, it won't hardly be anything. So, but I will note that, and then we'll show you on light pink. She's coming up next. And so light pink, she's the one that had the back of her leg that had the scratch on it, and we don't even hardly see it at all right now. It's healed up super well. In fact, you have to kind of part the coat of her hair to try to see anything of a scar or anything like that. And so when hers happened, hers seemed to be much more noticeable. Fern, are you here back for the video? I know, but I gotta show them your pups. Okay, come over here. Come over here. Come over here. Okay. Yeah, good girl. So, Light Pink's injury has done very well with her healing process. Dark Pink's is doing great as well. And so, at birth, Light Pink was 0.59 pounds, and right now she's 3.48 pounds. So Light Pink is right there at the bottom of the list as far as weight with the other pups. She has a couple of her sisters that are very close in weight, but she's the smallest of the bunch. So this is Light Pink and doing great. Oh, on her markings, I forgot to mention those. Her back right toes, yes, they're still heavily marked. Otherwise, she's mostly solid. And if she has her groin markings, they're still very slight and undetectable at this point in time. So that is Light Pink. And next we will find Miss Yellow, who has crawled away and is behind the camera. So I need to reach back and find her. Come here, Miss Yellow. Come here. Come here. Here we go. Fern, you're just hogging the show. I am going to have to take you to the side for a minute, okay? Okay. I'm going to take Fern and set her over to the side for a minute. I'm going to probably have to tether her on her leash. Give me 1 second and I'll be right back. Come here, Fern. Come here. Okay, back to Miss Yellow. Now we can have all the spotlight on you. And Mama doesn't have to share the spotlight with you. So this is Miss Yellow. And at birth she was 0.61 pounds. And now she's 4.14 pounds. So middle of the range as far as size at the moment with her sisters. Her marking that was slight on her chest is still there. It's ever so slight at the moment. And the groin marking is undetectable at this time. So other than that, she's a solid pup. Her toes appear to be solid and everything else. So that is Miss Yellow. And Miss Teal is hiding as well back here. So I will reach back to get her. Come here, Miss Teal. Come back to the camera. It's your turn to be the star. Sorry to wake you up. So Miss Teal at birth was 0.57 pounds, and she's now 3.52 pounds. So ever so close in size with Miss Light Pink, but Miss Light Pink just was just a hair smaller. So Teal is mostly solid. At birth, we thought the only marking would be perhaps a very slight marking in her groin area. That's undetectable at this time. However, she has like 4 white hairs right here on the side of her, right here. And then she has a spot on her front left shoulder, just right here, that is darker colored. For the longest time, we wondered if that would fade, but it seems to stay as time goes on, and it's still the darker color coat that kind of appears higher up on a Vizsla that's still coming down down here. So that's a first for us. We haven't ever had a dark patch on a pup like Miss Teal has. So she's unique in that regard. So that is all about Miss Teal. And next we go to Miss Neon. And I need to figure out which direction she went. Here she is over here. Found her. And the blanket got kicked up on purple. There you go. So, okay, here we go for Miss Neon. And she at birth was 0.63 pounds, and now she's 3.83 pounds. So just a little bit more than teal and light pink. And she appears solid at this time. We thought that she may have perhaps a slight marking underneath her neck area and collar. It's undetectable at this point. So we're thinking Miss Neon is solid. Her toes are solid, and we're not seeing any other markings as far as that goes. So Miss Neon here rounds out the list of the girls. And next we get to move on to the boys. And on our list is Mr. Green. And so we'll go get him next. Miss Teal's back here playing with the towel and pulling it all up and over the other pups. That's kind of fun to watch her wrestle with that. Mr. Green here was 0.83 pounds at birth, and he is now 6.15 pounds, and he's still mostly solid. We don't see really any markings at this time. The groin is undetectable at this time, the groin marking that we may have seen at birth. So that may come back with his adult coat like the others, but at the time it's undetectable. And so he just happens to be a pretty big, solid male pup. So that is Mr. Green. And next we have Mr. Blue. And he is over giving his mama some kisses, so I'm going to go get him. Oops, sorry pups. Pulled the blankie over. Sorry. So Mr. Blue at birth was 0.79 pounds, and he is currently 5.35 pounds. So Mr. Blue at the moment is the smallest of his brothers, but obviously still a very good size for his age at the moment. He is also mostly solid. We noticed at birth there may be a slight groin marking, so that may come back with his adult coat. But at the moment, we're calling him solid. And so his paws appear to be solid, and we're not seeing any other markings. So that is Mr. Blue. And next we have Mr. Red. And of course, he is over by his favorite log. So I will go get him. So here is Mr. Red, and he at birth was 0.85 pounds, and he is currently 5.93 pounds, and so he is not the biggest of the pups, but not the smallest of the boys either. And so this is Mr. Red. We've talked a little bit about his personality earlier. His chest marking is still there, quite prominent, noticeable. It may not appear such with this puppy coat that he's in right now, but he should have a nice marking as he continues to get older. His back right paw is still heavily marked, and then his back left as well. And then the marking that we were seeing on his neck, it's fairly undetectable at the moment, but it may come back with his adult coat. So that is Mr. Red. And next we have Mr. Orange, who has stayed put most of this whole time and is right at my feet. So I don't have to go anywhere to find him. So this is Mr. Orange. He at birth was 0.9 pounds and is currently 5.59 pounds. So he at birth was mostly solid. We may have seen a slight groin area marking, but that's undetectable at this time, and so we're not seeing anything else on him. We're not seeing any feet markings or anything like that. So that is Mr. Orange. And next, last but not least, Mr. Brown. And so we will get him. He's right here by us as well. Hello, Mr. Brown. Sorry to wake you up. He was the big boy at birth at 1.08 pounds and continues to be the big boy. He's 6.21 pounds, so just slightly bigger than Mr. Green. But he does tip the scales as the heavyweight of the boys at this time. He continues to be mostly solid with his back left toes. There is ever so few but noticeable couple of white hairs on some back left toes, and so that continues to be the case. There may be, now that I'm looking at it in this light, there may be a couple on his back right paw, but his front paws appear to be solid, and then his chest and neck, we're not detecting any markings there. So that is Mr. Brown, and that rounds out this crazy dozen for this little video. We hope this has answered 95% of everybody's questions. We know it may not answer everything, and sometimes it's very hard to narrow it down between a couple of puppies, so let us know if you would like some individual information between a couple of pups, and we're happy to share any observations at that point. So this group of pups is just doing great. They're growing well and doing fabulous. A few of them have decided to wake up and play around a little bit. Mr. Red is trying to go back and find his log over here, stake his claim. Neon had joined him earlier, and some of these pups are just totally out for the count and enjoying a beautiful afternoon. I don't know if you can hear the birds singing in the background, but it's just been a very enjoyable afternoon. The weather's perfect, slight breeze, nice and warm, and these pups have had a great time playing. So everybody's doing really well. I will mention, I don't know if this showed up on the camera. Where's Miss Yellow? I will mention this one thing. Miss Yellow has a little bit of breakfast still on her leg right there. That's not a dark marking. That is a little bit of food that I just noticed. So if that showed up in the video, I apologize. I should have got that wiped off. That's a little bit of mushy food that's stuck to her coat and hasn't dried up enough to come off yet. But it's not a marking, it's just a little bit of food for breakfast. So I will mention that if I didn't earlier. So anyways, everybody's doing great and the pups are doing fabulous. Oh, I will mention one other thing. Mr. Orange has a little bit of a puppy pimple. We're thinking right on his eyelid, right there. And we've had a couple of those. In fact, Mr. Brown had one right here on his eye that there's actually a little bit of a scab with it right now. But Mr. Orange has one right there. That's just a little bit of a puppy pimple and should go away. If it doesn't, then we'll let the families know if that's something that we need to evaluate with a vet. And so I don't think that's anything more than just a little puppy pimple. We've seen those kind of come and go in the past. So, and I think that's everything that I had on my mind that I wanted to go over in a video. So we hope this has helped everybody and been informative, and it's probably a long enough video. So we will wrap this up and wish everybody a great day. Talk to you later. Bye.